curious minds to a deep dive into the extraordinary. Imagine for a moment a universe where the very laws of physics are, well, more like suggestions.
Right.
And where a truly brilliant mind can, quite literally, hop between realities like you're flipping channels on TV.
Uh-huh.
If that sounds like your kind of adventure, you are definitely in the right place today. We're unpacking the incredible saga of Dr. Claudia. She's this quantum physicist who didn't just, theorize about the multiverse.
No, she went further.
She built a device, get this, powered by hamsters.
Yeah.
To jump right into it.
Yeah, the hamsters are a key detail. Our sources for this are fascinating excerpts from her personal accounts or journals. They give us this really intimate, almost unbelievable look at her journey.
Absolutely.
And our mission today really is to track Claudia's evolution, how she went from this quirky scientist starting out to eventually becoming this profound multiversal guardian.
Mm-hmm.
We want to see what her unique mix of curiosity, resilience, which she definitely needed, and compassion can teach us about our own world. What really jumps out from her early stuff is how one person's curiosity, just that relentless drive, can actually ripple out across countless realities. It's quite something.
It really is. So let's set the scene. Claudia, she spent months tinkering with her mover machine.
Yes, the hamster-powered one.
Exactly. And she's ready for her first jump. And her first goal, it wasn't like finding dark matter or anything. No, she wanted to calibrate the mover to find a universe where the dominant life form was
sentient broccoli.
Sentient broccoli. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Her grad student, Kevin, who sounds perpetually stressed.
Understandably.
He was, let's just say, skeptical. But boom, a blinding flash of purple light, and Claudia's gone.
And where does she land?
Not with the broccoli, that's for sure. She opens her eyes, and she's in a lab that looks just like hers, but kind of off.
Off how?
Well, instead of posters of physicists, there are these, sentient ferns hanging on the walls. Kevin, he's there, calmly watering a potted tree that's wearing glasses.
A tree with glasses.
Okay.
And what her accounts show right away is her incredible adaptability.
Yeah.
Instead of freaking out, which most of us would, she just kind of rolled with it, embraced the chaos of the multiverse.
Right.
She wrote something like, who needs a perfectly calibrated experiment when you can have a conversation with a philosophical cloud?
A philosophical cloud. I love that.
And this joy in the unexpected, it led her to start collecting these bizarre souvenirs. She had a petrified acorn from a squirrel universe, called it Nutsy.
Nutsy the acorn.
A small cloud in a jar, apparently very well behaved, and this feather from a talking cat.
Ah, yes, the cat.
Who had, and I quote, strong opinions on string theory.
Of course it did.
Her early trips really show that sometimes the biggest breakthroughs aren't about everything going perfectly to plan, Yep. It's about being open to whatever happens.
Oh, definitely. I wish my cat had opinions on string theory. But okay, even with all these amazing, kind of weird finds, Claudia knew she needed some stability, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Things were getting a bit too unpredictable, even for her.
So her journals talk about her next big project.
Mm-hmm.
The Multiverse Anchor.
Mm.
She describes it as this complex thing involving, loads of copper wire, a repurposed disco ball.
You can't make this up.
And, naturally, the ever-reliable hamster wheel. But what was this anchor for? What was the idea behind it?
That's a really good question. Because it marks a shift. The mover was about travel, right? Jumping around.
Mm-hmm.
The anchor was about stability. She saw it as this cosmic tether, a way to kind of lock down her own reality, stop it from drifting or being pulled around by all the multiversal currents.
Kind of like dropping anchor in a storm.
Pretty much, yeah. But while she was calibrating it, disaster. Well, not quite disaster, but an accidental jump. The mover just kicked in and flung her across realities.
Whoops.
Yeah, she just got these brief glimpses, a world made entirely of cheese.
Nice.
A universe where gravity was optional, apparently quite fun, and even a dimension full of sentient socks.
Sentient sock.
Engaged in a deep philosophical debate about the meaning of pair.
Okay, now you're just messing with me.
It's in her notes, just these flashes, and then, bam, she lands hard back in what she thinks is her lab.
Thanks. So it wasn't...
It wasn't quite right. Her notes are really specific about this eerie wrongness. Kevin's there, but he's not doing experiments. He's meticulously polishing these tiny porcelain cats.
Oh, no.
And the poster's gone, replaced with inspirational cat memes.
Oh, dear.
And Kevin just smiles serenely and says, "Welcome back. I trust your journey was perfect."
Of course.
And then offers her tuna-flavored tea.
Tuna tea. That would be, yeah, profoundly disorienting.
Exactly. And that experience, it really shook her. It highlighted just how fragile her own home reality was. You know, imagine your everyday world just subtly shifting into something alien, but almost the same.
Yeah, that's creepy.
It forced her to think about how what we see as normal and stable might just be one version out of infinite possibilities. That brush with the cat dimension was a big lesson in grounding herself.
I bet. That whole cat reality sounds unsettling. So wisely, she made a quick exit from Tuna Tea Land.
She did. Beat a hasty retreat, got back to her actual lab, this time with the multiverse anchor working properly. And finding her normal, non-sentient, potted plant in the usual mess was apparently a huge relief.
I can imagine.
She wrote that she learned the best adventure was coming home. But, you know, Claudia.
The curiosity didn't just switch off.
Not a chance. Despite the risks, the pull of the multiverse was too strong. But her focus shifted a bit. Less pure science, more collecting experiences, as she put it.
Yeah.
Her next big obsession, finding a universe where music was the main way everyone communicated.
Music instead of words.
Yeah, she imagined this world where, like, symphonies replaced small talk.
Wow, Kevin must have loved that idea.
He was practical as ever, asked her. And what happens when someone wants to argue? Do they just have a dissonant chord progression off?
Huh, good question. Did she find out?
She did. Her notes describe landing in this incredible marketplace. A woman was selling fruit with a soprano aria about the joys of potassium.
Amazing.
Men haggling over space goat cheese using complex counterpoint fugues. It sounded wild.
Sounds beautiful, actually.
It was, until she stumbled on a heated debate, expressed entirely through atonal jazz.
Uh-oh.
It got ugly fast. Ended with a rogue trombone slide incident and an enraged lute-playing mime who was also a glitter enthusiast.
A glitter-loving, lute-playing mime involved in a jazz fight.
Okay, Claudia apparently got caught in the crossfire. Made a very quick exit.
So Kevin was kind of right about the arguments then.
Seems so. It raises an interesting question, doesn't it? Does changing how we communicate actually change conflict itself, or just, you know, the soundtrack? Her experience suggests maybe just the soundtrack.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So she came back bruised and glittery.
Bruised, covered in glitter, and carrying a slightly dented lute as a souvenir. A reminder that, yeah, even in a musical world, sometimes actions speak louder than chords. But this didn't stop her, it just made her more interested in communication itself.
Right, so where next?
Later, she jumped to 2070, looking for a universe where art was the main form of communication. She called it the chromatic convergence.
Art as language.
Yeah.
Kevin probably worried about abstract legal battles.
His exact words were apparently, legal arguments must get a bit abstract. But she described the city as this amazing riot of color and sound. People expressed everything through dance, gestures, painting.
How did debates work?
She saw one, a public debate about like a water filtration system.
Yeah.
It was presented as this evolving painting. Colors and brushstrokes showed the technical details, the costs. The opposition added their points with like aggressive use of crimson and sharp angular lines.
Wow, how did it end? Did they just paint over each other?
No, this is the amazing part. The original artist, in the end, just added a single stroke of vibrant gold to the canvas, meaning acceptance, incorporating the feedback. And the crowd apparently burst into applause. It was this incredibly elegant way of resolving conflict, integrating opposing views into something new.
That's profound. It makes our debate seem kind of clumsy.
Doesn't it? And it really hit Claudia. She wasn't satisfied just watching anymore. She wanted in.
To communicate through art herself.
Exactly. She actually modified the mover to sync and then merge her consciousness with that universe's artistic flow.
Whoa, okay. How did that work out back home?
Well, initially she struggled to use words. She'd gesture wildly, hum melodies. Her lab started looking like, well, a canvas. Diagrams mixed with abstract paintings. Experiments sometimes ended in spontaneous interpretive dance.
Kevin must have been amused.
The notes say he found it quite amusing, yes. But it wasn't just quirky behavior, it fundamentally changed how she saw everything.
How so?
Her journals describe seeing her own reality differently, like a symphony of colors, textures, movements, even just doing the grocery shopping.
What?
And Kevin, though probably confused at first, actually started to get it. He even started sketching during their talk.
They got drawn in.
Yeah. She threw this party where conversations happened through gestures, Laughter was like a burst of vibrant color. Disagreements were a complex dance. It just shows how deeply communication shapes not just our ideas, but our whole society, our entire experience of the world. Trying new ways to express ourselves can unlock deeper connections.
That's incredible. So, from art and music, her journeys took another turn, didn't they? More towards time itself.
Right, a different kind of jump. Not to another place, but another time in her own reality. She went to her own future, 2080.